2017, one evening, I was not able to speak a single word. It was something like my entire speech system was shut down and I was immediately taken to the ICU. Why am I sharing that and what is that it has got to do with either quitting a job or not quitting a job or starting a business? Let me share my complete story. Like everyone else, I also had a great dream to be my own boss so that I can work on myself, generate great profit, and give the best life to my family members. It was in 2012. I was working in a great company. At that point in time, I did start my YouTube journey as well. Along with that, I also started one more business. I had a great mentor who was helping me on life skills, business skills, dreaming big, everything. Now, in fact, whatever learnings that I got from that mentor, I'm still valuing it and I'm still applying it. But this particular mentor used to say one thing: Sriram, if you want to have that fire to be your own boss, then you got to quit your job and focus 100% on your business. Now, whatever he said, yes, it's right. If you want to have more fire, then when you quit something, you will have that more pressure so that you are going to focus more. In fact, at that point in time, I think probably I was generating around 50 to 70,000 rupees per month from my job. But here is something. If that 50 to 70,000 rupees, whatever I was generating, if it stops coming in my life, you could imagine the kind of challenges what I would be facing, the kind of struggles that I would be going through. Because by then I was married. So I said, now this is something that I will not be able to do it. I still remember some of them who took the decision to quit their job, which was paying a decent salary, and when they continued with the business, some of them were able to grow in the business, and some of them who faced a lot of challenges, struggles, and when they were not able to make the profit, they went back to the job. Right? So I did continue with my job. I didn't quit that. But there was one thing that was always running in my mind. That is, Sriram, you need to quit your job. Sriram, you need to quit your job. Now, while this was running in the mind, I was never able to give my best in the job because my thought always was to focus more on the business, not on the job what I was doing. Now, this started impacting in a negative way. In fact, I was not contributing or working in the great way. I was not giving my best. In fact, it affected my rating, which in turn affected my increment. I had one of the toughest managers at that point in time, very challenging to deal with. Now, these kind of challenges started happening, and I could understand that things were not going really well. Now, during that time, one of my friend gave this book called as The Magic by Rhonda, right? Now, this book completely changed my life after implementing that. Where it said, you got to first appreciate what you have in your life. Now, of course, I had a job which was giving a monthly income. Only if I start appreciating that, I'm going to lead a fantastic life. Now, I started appreciating that. Now, things started changing. Environment started changing. So, I started leading a decent life. During that time, I also changed my job, where I had a dream like where I want to work with people where I'm going to upgrade my skills, get higher pay. Now that all happened when I moved to a different job. But one thing did not change, that I want to quit my job. I want to quit my job. I want to be my own boss. Now that is still running in my mind. And while that was running, you could understand, right? Still, I'll not be able to give my best. I was doing what was expected in the job. I never compromised on the work that had to be done. But when there was a lot of work, it meant a stress. Why? Because I had not started loving my job. And at the same time, I was not dedicating time on my health. Now, while this was happening, in 2017, I came across one of the hardest lessons that I could learn. That is, one day evening, after coming from the job, I suddenly was not able to speak anything. Not even a single word was coming out of my mouth. It was something like where my entire speech system had been shut down. I suddenly taken to the ICU. They did all this MRI scan and everything. Family members just came rushing to the hospital. The moment they saw me in ICU, I could see the kind of fear and worry they had in their face. And I was completely shattered from inside. I was getting a lot of negative thoughts, thinking whether I'll be able to speak again in my life or not. Is this how it is going to be in the future? Now that's the kind of thought that was running in my mind. Now those 3 days was the most difficult times in my life. I'm really thankful to each and every doctor who helped me to regain everything, because of which I'm able to speak very well right now. So why am I saying that? Is because one of the most important thing in our life is health. We always need to make sure that we are giving the right time for our health, right? So I dedicate time for my health. You got to make sure that you are giving time for your health as well. And second thing is, I said, yes, I am in a job. I'm appreciating that. One thing that I need to do is, I need to love what I'm doing. I need to give my best. Only then I need to think of quitting my job. Because when you quit your job as a high performer, you have a lot more belief as well. So I started working on my skills. In fact, we had a team of around 30 to 35 people in our team. So I said, I can use this opportunity so that I can learn more of leadership skills, which is going to help me once I build my own business. When our company used to announce that, okay, there is a session on leadership skills or communication skills, I was probably the first person to register and attend that. And I always used to help my team to build the right skills as well. Why? Because I was working on myself so that when I quit, I don't face the challenges. When I started doing this, when I started loving my job, I was loving my job, I was loving my YouTube journey. It started going really well. In fact, I would say I didn't feel anything as a stress. Why? Because I was loving both of them. At the same time, I was doing or giving time for my exercise as well. 2019 was a time where I was ready to quit my job. Let me tell you, there are a few things that you always need to consider before quitting a job. And thanks to one of my other mentor who gave the right inputs on what are things that I should consider before quitting the job. So I'm going to just share the same thing to you. Make sure you have funds to take care for next 3 years. Even after quitting your job, you need to have funds for next 3 years so that it is not going to affect your lifestyle. Second, make sure you don't have any loans. Third, during this process of you quitting your job, make sure you start something in parallel, which is going to put money into your bank account every month. In fact, I was working on my YouTube journey, because of which I was generating decent income. And at the time I was quitting my job, it was helping me to generate good income, which could help me to lead my normal lifestyle. Right? Only when you understand this, and along with that, whatever business you want to start, always have 2 to 3 alternative things what you want to do. Okay. Now say for example, you want to be a YouTuber and you want to earn money from that. Now that's the first thing what you want to do. Now other than that, what is your second thing? In fact, I still remember the second thing that I had written was I wanted to be a coach as well. Right? Now, when you have a lot of things as backup, even if one does not work, you always have something to rely on. Now that I was ready, in 2019, I was ready to quit my job. And here is something. When I was about to quit my job, when the annual results come, right, to help you understand how you have been performing, I was one of the top contributors in the company. And when I said to my boss that I'm going to quit my job, the boss asked me, Sriram, you have been doing a fantastic work. Would you mind extending for some time? So I asked, how long do you want me to extend? He said, is it possible to extend for maybe around 6 months or a year? Of course, I was not in a position to extend for so long, but I did extend for some time, right? You see the kind of happiness that you get when somebody says, you have been doing a great work, can you extend for some more time, right? On the other hand, say for example, you have not been doing great work and you put down your paper and you go to your boss and say you want to quit your job. They would happily say, yes, please, you can leave the company now. What is the feeling that you are going to carry? While you're quitting your job, you got to have that great feeling that you have given your best and people value your time. And when you quit your job, people need to say that, okay, he was one of the best person who was working in your company. In fact, I still remember one of my colleague called and said, the higher management was asking, if we can get Sriram back to the company, right? You got to have that kind of feeling. So make sure you're going to give your best to your job. Only then you can give best in your business. And here comes one most important thing. Now, you also need to understand the kind of job you are in. The best job that you could be in is something which is going to help you to build your skills, which is going to help your business as well. If it is something like that, then that's great. Okay. Or identify the opportunities within your company which can help you to learn those kind of skills, which can help you to be a great boss when you quit. So after that, yes, in 2019, I quit my job and I started working on my YouTube channel, start scaling it up. At the same time, I was always hungry to learn. In fact, I had kept around 2 to 3 lakhs as a separate funds to invest in my learning. So after quitting my job, I attended a lot of sessions. I attended on trading, I attended on coaching, everything. Then I finally focused on being a coach so that I could do it in the right way. So that's when in 2019 end, I started my own digital coaching journey. So that's Digital Achievers Hub. Now here is something that happened. I started everything, started investing in the tools, in ads and everything. Initially it was great. The moment I used to conduct the session, there used to be a lot of students who used to come. 2020 was not so great. I used to do a lot of sessions, but it sometimes happens that not many students used to enroll. My investment used to be much higher compared to what I was generating from the course that were sold. In fact, it went on for a couple of months like this, for 3 months, 6 months, right? I could understand that the investment was much higher and I was making a loss. It was not even break even. But still I was continuing. The reason is I understood for myself that there is something that I need to upgrade in my skill set. So I started learning more. In fact, I'm happy to say that in this 2 years, I've invested close to 10 lakh on my self-education. While I was doing that, where I started gaining more knowledge on how I could be a great coach, helping students to learn great things, 2021 was a complete changeover. I built my team, a very small team. I just have one person who is working with me. He's just like my brother. And other than that, I have a freelancer who is helping on some of the things and marketing company whenever it is needed. Just with the help of this small team, I was able to generate a revenue of 1 crore in 2021. Now, why am I actually sharing everything with you? Because if you want to be your own boss of you, or if you want to start your own company, you got to first understand the kind of challenges what we also face, and you need to come with the right mindset. Now, why I was able to generate over a crore in 2021 was because I did not quit in 2020. 2020 was not a profitable year for me. First 6 to 8 months was more of a loss or a break even, right? So acquiring the right skills is something that is really, really important. Now, once you have acquired the right skills, only then you can continue being your own boss or being that great entrepreneur, right? So these are something that I learned, and I believe that this is going to help you. So always make sure before quitting your job, give the best to your job so that you're one of the top contributor which company values the most and you feel happy before coming out of it. Acquire the right skills that are needed so that you can start your business in the right way. Always have funds for 3 years so that even if any challenges that you face, your lifestyle is not impacted. Don't have any loans. And most importantly, have that right mentor in your life who can give you the right coaching. And if it requires you to invest in learning, and it could be in thousands or lakhs, when you identify the right coach, just follow, implement, and learn. That's how you can grow faster. I believe my small story is certainly going to help you to take the right decision so that you don't just think of quitting your job, but you just focus on giving your best and then starting something of your own. Thanks for watching. If you want to hear some of my stories, something like this, then just comment below what is that you understood from this particular video. I'll be more than happy to share. In fact, your comments, whatever I would get, would be inspiring me to create more videos about this topic. Thank you. Have a wonderful day and see you in the next video. Bye for now.